All right, welcome, guys. We are big time right now. It's 5:09, baby. We're ready to rock and roll. It's Netflix. Welcome to the fun stuff here. It's earnings season. This is the best season. You're here. It's market recap. We're going to go over all the live earnings as they come through right now. Immediately, I'll refresh my Benzinga Pro, and we'll get these Netflix numbers. Wow, 520 and absolutely ripping to the high side. A beat on subs, apparently. Unfortunately, I don't have anything on this Benzinga yet. 525 and still going. Here it is right now. Netflix, monster beat. Yes, sir. We're long Netflix. Bang on that one. Anybody long with me? Put up their hands. Right now, sales, 8.83 billion, beating the estimate of 8.72. Can you imagine that? A company that used to sell you CDs in the mail, send you CDs, nice 12% increase right there. We'll wait for some more numbers, but look what's happening. It's a nice movement up to 522. And guess what? We'll go back over to a weekly chart. We're approaching again. Remember, Netflix was the darling of COVID up there near $7 drops all the way down to 200. This is where we bought Netflix on this break back up. Look at Netflix making moves. 526 and change right now for NFLX. Netflix right here. Gap EPS 211 misses 221. Okay, so we'll get some back and forth there, missing the EPS, but looks like it beats on sales. Now we wait to hear what's going on with the subs. Don't have it yet on Benzinga, but I'm sure it's out. We'll just wait for that report. Looking like it wants to make some moves higher. We'll get all the stocks as they start coming through, but for right now, it's Netflix up to 523, up 8 points. Right now is Netflix. Please tell me Disney's catching something from this. Yes, Disney, mini bang for Disney up to $94. Nice little move here. Let's go to a 1 minute chart to see just the dramatic movement. Up to $94.50 there for Disney. Back to Netflix and see where that's going again. Up to 530 and stopping. Why may we stop there? 560 is sort of a level that I have pegged right now to look at. 530, not really anywhere here. We'll wait to see where happens with that one. Nice move in Oracle today as well. Not earnings, but a nice move for Oracle. We're long here at about $100 for that one. Let's go over to a day. And what a day it was. Thank you for joining us on the Market Recap Show. This is Trader TV Live. I am Shawn Catena, and I'm going to be here with you guys every single damn day besides Friday, because Friday's podcast day. Bang on that one. And guess what else is out? Texas Instruments is out. Let's go over and have a quick look. Uh-oh, Brendo. Texas Instruments going to the downside now, 168, making that move. Let's just check out what Benzinga says about TXN right now. Texas Instruments, yuck. Is that right? Q4 149 versus 213. That one, where's my fail button? We'll slap it. That's not a good one right there. Sales missing as well. Oh no, Texas Instruments with a downside move here. This is not what we all wanted to see, especially if you're going to be long chip names and whatnot. It's Texas Instruments downside push right now. There's Netflix revenue again. C's guiding forward 924 versus 93. They are seeing higher than expected revenues coming in Q1 for Netflix. Texas Instruments getting kicked. But the thing about it is, we're not even back to the 200, let alone the 50 down here at 160. I think you pick up Texas Instruments. Hey, we're going to take a sip because we just hit 2 big earnings calls. It's Hydration Nation. Tea is water. Yeah, water. So is coffee. So is many things that you drink. Water, beer, water. All right, FXI today. What a nice day for FXI, of course, battling back off the China stimulus, right? So again, Chinese government says enough is enough. We've seen this. We had Michael Noss on yesterday. FXI battling back today. Silly me. I put Alibaba bid down at $70 this morning. Did not get it, obviously on that news. Nice gap higher. Would love to get that fill. Alibaba today up 8 points as well. Monster move for that. What's up with that? XHB with a nice little downside push today. This is the home builders. So that coming off of highs again. I believe all-time highs for XHB coming into play and just falling down a little bit. We're getting more and more coming through here. Intuitive Surgical, ISRG, another big name to report today. 371 up to 378. Here we go. Let's see what ISRG is saying right now. Here it is, Intuitive Surgical. 160 versus 148. Also sales on a beat, but Intuitive going to the downside. Just see a note here on Netflix. All right, what are we talking about? We expect a healthy double-digit revenue growth. I mean, when you're this kind of company and you're putting up $9 billion in revenues, double digit, very nice. Forex neutral basis, okay, so we're gonna have to see strength in the US dollar. Although the US dollar is pulling back a little bit, lemon ginger, we are continue to be driven by membership growth as well as improvement in FX neutral. So I don't know, I guess they're hedging out of all of that because of their business. That would make a little bit of sense. Texas Instruments and Netflix, the two big names that are now out. Check in on Texas. This was not a great report for them, missing on both ends. So we'll have to wait to see what happens with Texas Instruments down to 167, everybody. And then Netflix, of course, double check this. Maybe pulling back in a little bit. It was up 8, now up 5. Netflix pulling back in again. We will have Chris Brecher coming through very, very soon. It must be the guide. The only last news I have from Benzinga here is this guide. And that's the last report there at 403, 924 versus 93. So we talked about that, looking to guide lower. Although this is green, looking to guide lower versus 9.3. So maybe that number was a little different the first time we reported it. But again, 924 versus 93. Lower guide into Q1. You know what? I don't know why. I mean, I love when they guide if they have a clear vision of their growth and their potential subs and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes, though, take that with a grain of salt. Their quarter was huge. They beat on every metric. Why can't they do it again? I don't have an answer for that. I think they can. Netflix programming continues to get bigger and better. I had a tweet about that. We'll do that when we get over to Shawn's tweets. All right, how about silver today? Nice move. Silver again getting to a level where you may want to pick some up. Silver and gold. Gold had a huge run during Christmas because Brendan bought all the gold for his wife. Very nice of him. Up there to 190. But we've pulled back since that new year, back into the 50-period moving average. So watch out for those tops in and around 192 for GLD. But again, another positive move. The only red sort of area for me to be concerned about today, we had the banks were downside there with the KRE. So that one, a downside move. I thought I added ETHE to this list, but I did not. KRE with the banks, a little bit of a downside move, but still really healthy. We saw Zion. We talked about that yesterday. And then we had, what was the other regional we had yesterday? It wasn't Western. There was one. We'll find it. It was a bank earnings yesterday. Someone in the chat will probably get it to me anyways. And then we did have IBIT, the Bitcoin ETF. Again, nice downside move. And if you're going to look today, it was basically all day, man. I mean, here's Bitcoin right here. Unfortunately, the actual coin itself down to 39,000. We talked about this and where we thought we could buy it. If you're not listening to the podcast, I actually don't have it on here. First of all, check out the sticky note. I have that. Podcast, we talked about buying some Bitcoin. My suggestion, looks like it might be a good one, was into 36, right into this level. Because again, we had that bottom that happened sort of in the whole market back on Halloween. That sort of bumped everything up. We saw Coinbase go up 150% from 70 to 180. That might even be more than 150. Huge move up. So of course, Coinbase is going to be, Bitcoin is going to be a sell the news event. We will look to see what happened with Ethereum today. ETHE is very, very accurate, tracking the price of Ethereum. Oh my, down 8% today goes Ether. So nice move down for the Ethereum ETF. This is not an ETF, of course, this is the Grayscale product. Ethereum ETF's not approved yet. Let me check out our friend Hut. So glad. I know Brendo and I were both in this name. I keep saying that because he's sitting here. I never normally talk about Brendan. But getting out of that, man, when this thing reverse split and went all the way up and then started to come back down, we took advantage of getting out of that. But Hut 8 might be at a buy spot right now, down to $6. They did have a bear, it wasn't Bear Cave, but one of those short seller reports, it might have been Bear Cave, came out on HUD 8. And since then, it's been a downside move. Unfortunately, Coinbase, I've hated this stock pretty much the whole way up, and we were wrong as that kept moving, but now we're pulling back in. But look at this level, 111, 110 for Coinbase could also be something to look at right there as well. All right, this is Netflix. Okay, so let's have a quick look here. Can that screen even go up on there? All right, Ramin, can you hit the screen that Brendan has there? That's a share screen, because here's the summary results and the forecast for Q1. So as we can all see here, look at the revenue just continue to beat, right? Q2, 7.8, 8.1, 8.1, 8.5, 8.8. And then the big forecast moving forward, look at the growth, look at the operating income. I mean, does it get any better than this? Look at the diluted EPS. They're looking at 4.49. The only problem is, look what just happened with that EPS. 2.11 just came out through 3.71. So they've taken some hits there. We'll find out. Look at those global streaming paid memberships there, right in the middle of your screen. 260. 13% growth. That's absolutely monstrous. Thank you, Brendan, for all of that. There's a little bit of a rundown. That'd be awesome if we got that moving forward for that. Maybe send me where you got that, and then we can show it moving forward. But there's Netflix on a 10-minute chart, up to 512. We did get going up to 530. Let me put this on a 1 minute, and then we'll have another quick look. 530, pulling back into 510, quickly on Texas Instruments. Oh, yuck. Texas Instruments falling back in. Does that mean that we're going to have a problem for AMD? AMD, 169 all the way down to 167, sort of saying hold my beer a little bit. What's Nvidia doing on this report as well? Nvidia pulling back down $2. Not really too much happening there. Texas Instruments may be on an island of their own right now as we continue to go. We are getting set up. We do have Chris Bretcher coming on today on short notice, so I want to thank him for that, as Brian Shannon had to step away, and we arranged this with Chris. So thank you so much for Chris coming through again. Should be very, very cool. We're going to have him look at some Tesla. We'll have a look at some Netflix, and then some possible ideas that he's looking at. What did the spiders do today? Look at this, another one. I mean, we're just hitting all-time highs here, back and forth. Let me go over to a weekly chart for the SPY. So here you go right now. You are still above that past all-time high of 480. So 485 looks good to me. The SPY continues to rock and roll. What about JP Morgan? Banks starting to recover a little bit. We like to see that happening again today. NIO was a really good trade, one of my best coming through today. Can't really talk too much about profitable trades and what was the number one trade on the show, but I can tell you NIO was a big one there for me today. We definitely hit that off 650, but it did fade the rest of the day. Look at NIO here. We hit this move early. We ran it all the way up, and then it just faded the rest of the day, and we were able to get out on 659 for our top amount of profit on NIO. That was a really good one here. What else you guys want to talk about? XLF was making a nice move today. Again, up, actually flat, but retracing back up to all-time highs. I was sort of crapping on XLF, but remember what I said about this name? 13% is Berkshire Hathaway. They're not just in all the major banks. The banks have really made a nice comeback, including BAC. I mean, if you're trying to find something, look at this 50-period move. The reason why I like Chris for many reasons, okay? But one of the big ones is he always gives me credit for this Pan W. And we really nailed this Palo Alto trade down there at 235. Chris was on the show that day, and I'm like, Chris, you know what? I really like this. He maybe wasn't on, maybe it was the day before, but I was like, we're at the 50 period. I really liked what Pan W stood for, cybersecurity. And for me, it was kind of easy. We had Ukraine. We continue to have Russia and Ukraine worries. We're going to have China worries. Russia just hacked Microsoft. State-sponsored hackers just got into Microsoft's emails for top executives. So that didn't do anything to Microsoft. They were just like, whatever, it's all good. But still, if they're breaking into Microsoft servers, I mean, I feel like you'd really need to be protected. Pan W, CrowdStrike continue to work upside right now. There goes Palo Alto. We'll wait to see when their earnings report comes through. Of course, that is Pan W. Nice little move there. USO not doing a whole heck of a lot today. I reported there were more drone strikes or something in Yemen. I don't know, man. The Red Sea just continues to be a problem, but not for oil, I guess. It's kind of just hovering around. I thought with all this controversy and sort of strife there, oil would be a little higher than it is, a little disappointing, but you know what's really kicked it off? And again, another thing to my good friend Chris Bretcher, he's all about the transports. I said, yeah, I like the transports, but you know what I like as market breadth? The semis, and we always talk about SMH. So again, buy the dips on SMH, and that really paid off. We were actually lucky enough to get some down here on the SMH because I wasn't sure about Nvidia or AMD or any of that. We picked some up. These are just holds. We most recently bought Apple as well. But hey, we're rocking and rolling. That's the market recap. Another positive day across the board, led by China, led by, I guess, Nat Gas was up 2% today. XLP was nice. XLK and the triple Qs lead the way. And the SPY, again, bang, back up to all-time highs. Ramin, tell me Mr. Bretcher's ready. He's ready. Let's go with Trader Talk. Hey, Chris, how are you doing today? And thank you for coming on late notice.
Yeah, sure is. We have finally the painters done, and I'm going to really miss having Satan right up my shoulder on the right, that hog-nosed snake.
Oh, my God. How long
finally
is that
having
snake?
the painting done, and I'm hoping everything's back to normal tomorrow.
And the back is feeling well?
Yeah, it's okay. You know, this surgery makes everybody tired, including me. But I've hardly missed any days, and we've tried to stay on the correct side of the market day in and day out. I think it's really important about the continuity to be here every day just to know what's going on. So I really hate missing any days.
You and I, much alike. Wow, there goes Netflix. Quickly back over to my screen just real quick. Netflix right now. Guys, we went over the numbers and then Netflix started to rip right there. So obviously everybody watching the show, and we're really happy to have you on right now, Chris. What a quarter that was for Netflix. I don't know if you saw what we were just talking about there. Looks like a beat across the board, man. Subscribers continue to grow higher and higher. They're projecting a little bit of a lower revenue number, so we'll have a look at that, but the growth continues. I'm going to imagine that you are a Netflix subscriber.
Yeah, every night now we're watching Louder Milk. I don't know if you've watched
What's
that
it called?
yet. That's right up your alley. It's called Louder Milk.
Why is it right up my alley?
It's your kind of humor.
My kind of
I think
humor.
you'd really enjoy it.
I almost had to kick you off there, but no. All right, we'll watch Louder Milk. Brendan had a movie called The Lift that he liked there, so check that out as well. Content, you know what I'm watching with my kids? Superstore. We're redoing that. The kids tend to like that one as well as a sitcom. All right, Netflix, you have it up right here, or what do you want to talk about today? I'm going to open it up to you. I'm impressed with Netflix. Nice move up to 530. Let's go, Chris.
Yeah, it's I'll tell you, overall, the trend has been that if a stock is near its high for the year,
Yep.
the earnings seem to disappoint. Netflix is always its own entity, especially with this World Wrestling deal. But when you look at like Texas Instruments, and we played that today, and I'll show you how if you want me to, about a tremendous amount of stocks that are near new highs for the year. The bar is so high, almost everyone is disappointed. And like I said, I don't really count Netflix in there.
Why not?
You take the Texas.
Why not?
Take GE. Pardon me?
Why not? Why can't we include Netflix into that year high break scanner of yours?
Well, the weird thing is, really, in the grand scheme, it's not at a new high.
Okay.
I mean, it's you see where it is in relation to Texas Instruments.
Okay.
And it's that thing about what's more important, paying up for content or the actual content. So at the moment, people care about the content, not on the content costs. And that's been going on for years where they spent so much and the stock just kept going up. So Netflix.
They did it the right. They did it the right way. They did it the right way. They bought content that people wanted to watch, and people thought it was ridiculous. You're paying all this content for random shows. But how stupid, honestly, is a company like Paramount or NBC Universal that actually produces The Office and then gives it over to Netflix so everybody could stream 1 trillion hours of The Office for $10 a month. Meanwhile, Netflix just writes a check to NBC for $10 million or something like that, as if it didn't even matter, because they were the only streaming service. Now, Peacock and all that are trying to play catch up. Maybe it's too late, Chris.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I mean, just from a fundamental thing, that's where you value a company on their CEO.
Yep.
I mean,
Reed Hastings,
he did a heck of a job of figuring that out before everybody else did.
Let's
no doubt. But I'll tell you on how we played Netflix. I'm not talking about overnight, but intraday. A lot of times we play these stocks to revert to their mean. So all we're doing in there, one thing is you need a choppy market. I know we've talked about this before of these kinds of ideas, but the idea is that if Netflix intraday has those type of patterns, you can play them to unchanged. And it worked. They went right to unchanged. So Texas Instruments, bear flag, intraday, I'll show you. Survey says, but there's your bear flag. There's your bear flag.
Yep.
These things work, especially after a green candle. If you get a red to take back half the green. And these have been real reliable about these going back to unchanged into earnings.
Hey, I wanted to ask,
then you don't have to bet on earnings.
Remember that trade that you broke down with us was the sort of the last second options trade? You look at sort of those imbalances and you try to figure out if there was going to be a big move there in the last couple of seconds, and you would try to buy or sell puts or calls on the SPY, waiting for those imbalances at 350 to hit and then cashing out maybe right at the end of the day. You remember what I'm talking about here?
Yeah, well, you never know. I don't remember what I had for breakfast, but
Same.
yes, I remember what you're talking about. And
So
basically, it works a lot better after companies that have big buybacks are reported.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you is this something that we're looking at into earnings season? I feel like it's a little risky heading into earnings season because we really have no idea what kind of numbers are going to come out, positioning much harder in some of those names that heading to earnings season because, Chris, for me, I don't like to trade stocks that report either the next day or the same day. I'll trade it maybe the day after once we could see some levels for some support and resistance. But for me, trading earnings names day before and day of tend to be a little tricky until we can really find some good support and resistance levels. So will you be looking at Netflix tomorrow or Texas Instruments, or have you already sort of made your play and we'll see how it works out?
Well, if the NASDAQ stays up, so it stays up 78, I'm going to look to play those reversion things. So I don't mind playing things a day of earnings, like Texas had earnings, obviously just now, as long as I see those type of patterns, those bear flags. This is just betting that the broad market pulls up a stock like it did with Texas Instruments earlier in the day. And then if it's a choppy market, if they form that kind of pattern, I'll look to play them to the downside, either with puts or with stock, but not just to blindly buy puts.
Right.
But that's betting on it going back to unchanged. And now that you have Netflix up and you have the NASDAQ up, tomorrow night, you got the Lam Research, you got the IBM.
Yeah.
So I'm very interested in playing those if I see reversal patterns overnight. Intraday. So you got the Lam right here. And like I said, that doesn't mean to play it now, but it means to play it intraday if the market pulls it up and it forms some kind of bearish pattern. So, so I'll look at those. I'll look at those tech stocks for tomorrow to see if they get pulled up. And whether it's Wednesday night or Thursday morning, I'll be looking at the service nows on the bottom, the Lam Research. I'll look at Tesla, no doubt about it. So if the markets get pulled up, I'll look to play that to unchanged. That's worked really well. Not for earnings, just intraday.
One that you might be wanting to look at that reports tomorrow is also ASML, of course. That is near its highs. You come over to my screen right now, 770 right now for ASML. Ramin, thanks. Up there, its all-time high is 869. This is coming, of course, tomorrow morning, Chris. And if ASML misses or guides lower, and of course, these guys produce the equipment similar to what you're talking about with Lam Research there for a lot of these chips. If they start to see weaker demand, I honestly am starting to get nervous right now for names like Nvidia, names like AMD that are quite frankly way heated. I mean, how could we not think that AMD is not heated up? I mean, AMD didn't even have a great quarter and they bounced huge all the way almost a double from $94 all the way to $175, pretty much in a straight line with one weekly red candle. I'm quite frankly, Chris, we talked about this earlier on on the show today. Obviously, I don't think you were watching. It was about 3:45 or so when I was saying that it might be time, even for investments, to start to trim, even if you're talking about retirement. So you're probably not going to retire for another 50 years, me probably about another 10. And the thing is that I'm going to start to get out. I'm feeling like if these reports aren't great, I may get out of a piece, let the market fall back, and then try to buy some of these bottoms. You like that idea? I feel like some of these stocks are way heated.
I agree with you completely, especially when you look at this graphic here. Is the bond market, I hope you can see this in here, the bond market rallied right when the NASDAQ did in October.
Rally, here we go.
So they basically went straight up together.
Yep.
And now you've had the bond market really give back a good chunk all the way to where it was at the beginning of December, while the NASDAQ's up in Never Never Land. So you're definitely seeing that divergence between bonds and stocks, because that bond market rally on the left is what really started the rally of the NASDAQ. And then you have the AMDs like you're talking about just going straight up. Boy, they price for perfection into the earnings, no doubt about it. In fact, I might look to do a spread in it, AMD, under the market for earnings. I hardly ever do earnings.
Unbelievable move in AMD and in Nvidia. And yeah, we'll look to talk about earnings. Chris, thank you so much for coming on late notice. Glad to talk stocks with you. Such a professional. Glad to see you don't have to get worried about your little snake there behind you. Or wasn't there like 10 snakes or something?
21.
I'm speechless, my guy. 21. Okay, well, good luck, and hopefully they stay confined. And it's Chris Bretcher. They can find you at Simpler Trading. Again, thank you so much on late notice and for reviewing some of those strategies. Have a good one, my friend.
Anytime. Take care.
Ciao, Chris. That was Trader Talk, baby, and we had a pretty good one there with Chris. Thank you so much for going through some of those names. I actually like what he was talking about there. Any stocks at or near all-time highs, look for a potential fade, especially if the earnings report naturally isn't that great. But we still have a ways to go on Netflix. Let's just double check that real quick before I go over our next topic, which is going to be sticky note reviews. Okay, right there, we do have a nice move up to 530 there for Netflix. So we'll go bang on that as they recover from their potentially poor guide moving forward. A little light on that. All right, so every single day, I don't know if anybody's heard of this thing before. I just kind of created it over the last couple of weeks. It's the sticky note, and no, it's been here since day one. I like to just go over a couple different things for review. Now, today, the interesting name for me was Rumble. We saw Rumble move around yesterday. Brendan came up yesterday after market. They released a new studio whereby there was a new form of ad payment, selection process of reading ads, so on and so forth. So they're trying to change the game a little bit and bring people over from YouTube or just multiple streams. And I think that's really cool. They got Barstool there. So I really liked it there. And we went long on Rumble. So let's go ahead and just double check. Oh, my login didn't even work. I'm going to have to here, hold on a second. I'm going to go back, load this up. And then as we're doing this, I'm going to call up Rumble, look at the day that Rumble had as I log into the platform. So my trades will load in. Rumble finishes the day in and around that 650 area off making a bottom near $5. The level that we wanted to play off of was, hold on a second. All right, we should be able to get logged in here. Again, let's go over to a daily chart for Rumble as I'll get logged in here. This is what Rumble was on a 1 minute. Let me go over to a 3 minute real quick. So we really wanted to look at this 540 area. Why was that, you may say? Well, if you go into the pre-market, we bounced around $4 or $5, but this top was $5.20. This top was $5.40. So I was like, if we fell back in, this is kind of the area that we wanted to get long on Rumble, right? And then even yesterday, if we zoom back in a little bit, this level of $5, we held, and then we ripped off that. So if we're gonna go back and double check what the sticky note said here, look down. I'm already long Rumble in the pre-market. I'm going to show you in a couple seconds when my layout loads, which it's trying to do right now. Long 540 in the pre-market. We'll get more, and then we'll bail at 5. So that was kind of the talk here on Rumble. And if you're going to look to see what it did, okay, here we go. It's slowly loading. Okay, here we go. Looks like we're loaded up right now. These are live trades, okay? So I will not put on many shares in the pre-market. So this little trade that I came in, it was 8:30. We just went on the air, and I was like, guys, scratch this. I'm getting long. Looks like we're barcoding off of 550, 560. So we got long right there, 580. First piece out, 606. Then we were waiting for 630. All right? That didn't come, but we stayed there. It went to 628. All of a sudden, we get that 630. Comes back in, reload it there at the pre-market, reload it right at the level that we marked down. Remember 540? Right there, 540, Rumble. So that's the load right there, 540. It goes down. It almost breaks 5. It goes down to 515. Then all of a sudden, out at the 200, out, as we rip all the way back. And I got a big shout out to those, I think it was a guy or female or whoever named YouTube or something like that in the chat that was like, come on, man. It went back to view up. You should have got long, and you are right. We should have got long on that trade as well. We wanted to play Fisker breaking through 110. That never happened, so we didn't have to worry about it. I know Neil kind of got thrown around a little bit there on that trade. He was long early, down through $1. I can't honestly do that. But our Fisker 110 was a great level. It just stopped at 105 and never was able to break higher on that one. Apple long 193. We really liked that one. And then Alibaba was another name that was on the sticky note. But again, we wrote that a little early, and it just kept going up and away, and we weren't able to get long. So Alibaba today, a good trade. We'll look to get longer on that one. That's it for Sticky Note. You can find that at Trader TV Shawn every single day around 8:30, 8:45 on X and on Instagram. Go follow me at Trader TV Shawn as well on Instagram. Often imitated, but never duplicated. We are all the time, and hopefully you'll be able to see that. Let's go over a couple tweets quickly here that we had. Traders stay late. We will have a roll call coming through as well. All right, so an interesting tweet that we had out here. Look at this handsome gentleman. Jensen Huang here had 3 million shares of Nvidia at IPO. I don't know. He's been selling. He's obviously been issued more shares as part of compensation packages and whatnot. Absolutely unbelievable. Today was Nvidia's IPO date back in 1999. Those shares today, if he had held them all, paltry $90 billion. So that is a little mind-blowing. Look at this handsome gentleman. Amazing to see. I wish you could sort of see the computer that was back into here. But 1999, there's the Rolodex. Man, I wish he would have given me a call back then and said, yo, I'm on to something with this. Let me just call up and let's see Nvidia and that move higher. Here we go, NVDA. I'm going to call up a monthly chart for that. Isn't that amazing? 1999. Technology, man. Fight it if you want. I would suggest not. We can't even go back that far, but you could see. Anyways, no, I can't. This is a monthly chart, but you're going to go all the way back here to 09 on trade ideas. I don't know. But anyways, huge move up. You could just see here, even in 2011, this is $5. Up to 600, a monster move for everybody there. I got to get going, man. We're well over. There's no way in hell I'm keeping Ramin too much later than this. There's Netflix. We showed you the subscriber growth. That continues. No surprise there today. That's it. And then something interesting to go find out, Alibaba's income statement. Go find out on my Twitter account right now, at Trader TV Shawn, where all their money's flowing right now. If you, not yo, can I still edit that? No, I can't. Too bad. Maybe I can. Hold on a second here. No, I cannot, so that's a spelling mistake, my bad. And then right here, check this out, Michael Burry. I mean, really funny that his portfolio still short the stocks. Will that pay off? That, of course, is the semiconductors. And we've done this before. Booking is on here as well. I don't even know what the heck Starbulk is, but there's Alibaba there as well, 4.38. Thank you so much for watching. A big shout out to Chris Bretcher. We're also streaming live on Twitter and X. You can go find me there as well. It's the Market Recap Show. It's going to be there for you. It's going to be out as a podcast and as on the playlist for YouTube. Go find it right now immediately. Go check them all out. Tomorrow we have Tammy, and then we have Danielle Shea coming in, and then Danielle's coming on Thursday, which is Tesla, which should be a hell of a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Thank you so much for watching. It's ASML, it's Netflix, it's Texas Instruments. You're now rocking with the best traders. Thank you, Ramin. How dare I forget roll call? My favorite part of the show. I'm going to say a hi to everybody. Hi, everybody. Of course, I got a chat in here. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. All right, now there we go. It's roll call. You're here with me. Thank you so much for staying late. So let's do it. CompuCare is here. Let me know if you liked it. If you liked the show so far and you like this programming. Like, I'm staying late for everybody. Everybody's gone. It's me and Ramin and Obi. That's it. Here, period, on the floor. Who else? Kat's here. Hey, what's up, Kat? Kat, come over here. I want you to wave to everybody if you have a second. If you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. What's up to Yannick? Derek Thompson's here. Clayton, Jody, Jim, Nick is here. Or you can put her on the two-shot. She can just do a wave from where she is, from our desk. What's up to D. Westermeyer, Derek Thompson, Bears versus Bulls. There she is. Wave. There's Kat. Hey, Kat, hola. The Piper is here. What's up? What's up to Paulie D? There he goes. You guys want to see a little bit of Cat? We show you. We deliver. That's all that we're doing, baby. All we do is win. Shout out to DJ Colin. That's not true. We lose sometimes. But we do have a hell of a lot of fun. Traders stay late. That's roll call. Thank you so much. I'll be doing this tomorrow. So watch me tomorrow all day trading. And then I'll sit here and just spend more energy doing all this. And then go home and fall asleep on the couch. Thank you for watching. I'm coming home, my wife. And I'll see you soon, everybody.